Someone says, why are people hating on Chinese suppliers? In my opinion, it doesn't matter who makes a product as long as it meets set specifications. Yeah, I can't agree more. Over the years, we've intentionally not discussed where our products are made. There is a misconception that um, products made in America are great and products made in China are bad. And that's kind of this, I don't know, rule of thumb or conventional wisdom that people have. And it's just not true. You can buy shitty, poorly made products in the US or from Japan or from Germany, and you can buy world class, top quality products in China. I would say overall, there is a lot of shitty stuff made in China and Vietnam and um, Indonesia and India and places like that. But there's also some really good stuff. In fact, I'm a as a hobby, a speaker designer and builder, and there's a company called SB Acoustics, which manufactures all its drivers in Indonesia. And so the products are designed in Denmark and manufactured in Indonesia. And they brought some of the best, highest quality products to market at a lower price than some of their competitors who were making these products in Scandinavia. Uh, so they took the same engineering, and like you said, they managed the specifications, set up a factory in Indonesia, and they brought the same product, same high, ultra high quality premium products to market at about half the price. Um, the other issue is not a lot of stuff is made in the U.S. anymore. You may hear about onshoring manufacturing and offshoring and all this stuff. When it comes to automotive parts and products, like things made from molded rubber, cast aluminum, steel, machined products, low cost consumer products that don't cost thousands of dollars. That kind of stuff just simply really isn't made in the US anymore. You can definitely find well, this guy makes stuff in the US. Yeah, there's a couple people, but there's not an industry of that. And so if we want to have a turbocharger like this made, even Garrett, who Honeywell, this is an American company, doesn't make this stuff in the U.S. They may do assembly and stuff here, and we do a lot of assembly here as well. But um, there's not even places to get it made, even if you wanted to. And so that's the big challenge. I'm really trying not to get political here. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to talk as someone who works in this industry and someone who manufactures a U.S. company that manufactures products. There really is not an opportunity to manufacture automotive parts in the U.S. Now, the U.S. is still the number one biggest manufacturing economy on Earth, bigger than China. The money generated through manufacturing in U.S. is even bigger than China. Now, that's not making plastic reusable plates and rubber spatulas and motor mounts. That's the U.S. making rockets, spaceships, uh, X-ray, laser scanning,
Yeah, lots of biomed stuff.
high-tech medical devices. That's us making satellites that are being sent out of our solar system. That's building, you know, $30 billion F-35 jets. The most advanced high tech products on Earth are by far manufactured en masse in the U.S. So if you own a machine shop, right, and you're asked to machine something out of aluminum, and I want to bring a automotive product to market, let's say you guys are going to pay about $50 for this thing, and so I can go to a machine shop and I say, hey, can you make 1,000 of them for me? And they're like, yeah, we can do it. How much can you pay? Well, I can probably pay like 20, $30 for this thing. I got to sell it for 50. And then they pick up the phone and it's Lockheed Martin wants a similar part, finer tolerances, and Lockheed Martin's going to pay $2,000 each. You know, who are you going to spend your time machining products for if you're in the U.S.? It's not us. So there are a lot of machining companies and facilities in the U.S., but they're going to take their business where the money is, and that's medical, aerospace, um, high tech, military. You know, that's the kind of stuff that if you're going to make something in the US, you're going to make it for a company like that. I have a little story that kind of proves this point. We used to do a lot of machining here at 034 Motorsport. We had 5 CNC machines, and I was very proud of it. Nate and I worked really hard to buy those machines. Nate actually didn't sleep for 2 weeks learning how to program the VF2.
I was the machining department for a handful.
He literally learned how to program CAD CAM a CNC machine from scratch. Never went to school or got any training. And like, I don't know what you did. Like read the manual, went on the internet,
figured it out.
Yeah, I mean, super smart guy. Figured it out. So, anyways, we had 5 CNC machines here, and we had a customer that worked at Google, and so they were shipping some billion-dollar server somewhere, and they had put this server on this big manufactured pallet, and they had designed and CNC'd machine these big aluminum brackets. Just think of like a big trapezoidal bracket, like this big, with gussets, lightened, and then mounting holes for bolts. In our world, a super simple part. And so he was getting some service done, and he was like, "Hey, we need a couple more of these brackets. We didn't get enough of them made. You guys, I can hear the CNC machines. Can you guys machine some of these for us?" And so we look, Nate and I look at it.
I was actually looking to see if I still have the files.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, we can do that. And it's the kind of thing that if it was for a car, this exact part, let's say it was part of a suspension, we probably would have sold it for like $200. And so I asked the guy, I'm like, how many do you need? He's like, I need like 4, which isn't a lot, right? But to set up a CNC machine to machine only 4 things. I'm like, well, what are they worth to you? And I think he was like, I could pay like $2,000 each.
It was something absurd.
$2,000 each for something that we could sell for $250 as a car part. So I was like, fuck yeah, you know, and we cleared a CNC machine and we made these brackets for him and made a ton of money. And again, like I like making car parts. I didn't want to go out and try to find if Cisco and Amazon and Microsoft needed a bunch of these brackets either.
I did find a folder here for NASA. We did some little bracket for Ames at one
for
point.
Also a ton of money. So we went back to making car parts after that, and have ever since. That was like probably 12 years ago. But just to prove that point is that, you know, we're talking about $1 billion server and a company that has $500 million a year of revenue. They're not going to like nitpick the price of an aluminum bracket, right? So those are the kind of things that get made in the U.S. Americans are smart, and they know that they can use the same amount of time and energy to produce 100 times X the income. They're going to do that instead. So I didn't plan on talking about this, and it's an interesting question. I could talk about this all day. But I will say, I'll finish with, at 034, we don't talk about where our products are made. And what we say is, these products are made by 034 Motorsport. And that means that regardless of whether and sometimes we have the same exact parts made in 2 different countries. We have some parts that are made in the U.S. and some of the production is made in the U.S. Some of the production is made in China. And to you, the customer, there's no ability that you're going to have to tell the difference between where the product is made. And that means that 034 Motorsport essentially made this product. It means we managed the specifications, the quality. We oversaw that. The QC, everything is our standard, and where it's made has nothing to do with the quality. The expectations and the requirements that we put on the manufacturer is what determines the quality. And, you know, this phone, which is a world-class device, Androids too, they're all made in China. right? So China can make really good stuff. So can Vietnam. So can India. But you can't just put your finger to the wind. You have to actually develop these products and make sure they're made to the standard. And
yeah, we've done a lot of exercises trying to onshore as much as we can. It is not, for a lot of the reasons Joel stated, it has not gone well. The machine shops we found that have had some time and capacity, we found out why they have time and capacity.
In the U.S.
In the U.S.
Yeah, it was awful.
It was terrible, both from communication to the parts we received to, I'm not saying, of course, there's a lot of really good machine shops and very skilled people out there, but they're usually very busy.
They're doing aerospace stuff. Yeah. And I'll finish with this: is we would love to make everything in the U.S. if we could, 100%. And if we could offer it at a price that would make sense, or if we could even get it made, we would absolutely do it in the U.S. There's no reason. But the good news is the money that is made on any of these products goes to America. It goes to pay the rent in America. It goes to pay employees who are American. The vast majority of the money that's made off selling products made in China, even for U.S. companies, is kept in the U.S. A little bit of it stays in China, but I wish we could get more manufacturing here, but also I don't. Those are low-paying jobs. They create a lot of pollution. Nobody wants those factories in their neighborhood or in their backyard. So it's a tough call.
Yeah, I mean, just look at where any of the OEMs are getting their components as well. I mean, that was one of the big recent issues is that all the vehicles made in America are not made in America. 100%. There's components and subcomponents that are all over the world. It's a very global supply chain for pretty much every product you can think of.
Yeah, I mean, go on the Garrett Honeywell. I always say go on the Garrett Honeywell site, and if you click on the right things, you can see where they have products made, and it's like 80 different countries. So these days in our world, manufacturing really is a global effort, but it'll be interesting to see how some of the things that the government is doing right now will change and impact that. It's going to be interesting ride.